Manga-Waido.
My name is Kazuki Hosokawa. My grandfather was a business owner and my father worked for him. My family was reasonably well off, and my grandfather took me out to eat whenever he could.
Grandpa, look! I got a perfect score in my math test!
Oh, you worked hard. And let's go out and eat sushi for a reward,
Yay!
My grandfather had a favorite high-end sushi restaurant. I loved to eat sushi with my grandfather at the counter. But when my grandfather passed away and my father took over the company, life gradually changed. The company started to go under due to the recession. And then, when I was in high school, my father, "If things continue like this, the deficit will only grow," and folded the company and went to work for an ordinary company. Naturally, the family's finances became difficult at once. I started working part-time to help the family as much as possible. This is Manwa Sushi, where my grandfather used to take me. I miss it. I wonder how the owner's doing. This is the same sushi restaurant my grandfather used to take me when I was a child. As I was thinking about that day, I found myself cleaning the front of the sushi restaurant. Then...
Oh, are you that part-timer from the restaurant next door?
Yes.
Did you sweep in front of our restaurant too? Thanks.
I'm sorry. I was just reminiscing about this place, and by the time I realized I was right in front of it.
Oh, you've been here before.
Yes, actually.
Oh, are you Hosokawa-san's grandson by any chance?
What? You remember me?
I think, you're Kazuki, right? You've grown up, haven't you? Is your grandfather doing well?
About that. When I told him that my grandfather had already passed away, the chef, Manwa-san,
I see.
had a sad look on his face.
That's right. Will you, come by my place after your part-time job?
Yes, I don't mind, but... And when I stopped by at the end of my part-time job as I was asked...
Here, give this to your grandfather.
And gave me a folded box of sushi. Thank you very much. I think my grandfather will be pleased. This was the beginning of a friendship that led to a close talk with Manwa-san whenever I saw him. My interaction with Manwa-san continued until I quit my part-time job. And I finally graduated from college. Today was the last day of my part-time job. I visited Manwa-san's store to say hello. Thank you very much for your help. It was a pleasure talking with you, Manwa-san.
I'll miss you, Kazuki. If you'd like, come visit our place from time to time.
Thank you. I'll definitely come back to eat.
Yeah, I'll be waiting.
But, despite promising that, I haven't been able to go to Manwa Sushi since then. I got a job at a real estate company, but I was so busy every day that I would get the last train home. I had money problems, but I didn't have time to go out to eat sushi in the first place, and I'd just go home and fell asleep. The reason I was so busy wasn't just because of the workload. The problem lies with this guy. It's Igarashi, my senior. Igarashi-san, I finished organizing the client data.
Okay then. This is next. Flyers for new properties. Make them by tomorrow.
What?
What's with that face? You're gonna say no?
Well, it's already this late.
Huh? When I was a rookie, they made me do a lot more than that, you know. If I tell you something, you do it. You know what happens if you disobey me, right?
As soon as I joined, Igarashi gathered us newbies together and
I used to be a famous badass, yes.
And boasted. Apparently, Igarashi was a member of the Doraemon or something.
There's not a badass around here who doesn't know my face.
He brags. Bragging about his former delinquent days were so low that me and the rest of my colleagues were taken aback. But it's pretty scary when you're threatened by a guy this big with a face like that. Igarashi was cracking his knuckles that day as well, and...
Do it by today.
He yelled at me and left. 3 of my colleagues were going through the same thing. And if you even slightly disobey...
Want me to put you in the hospital? Some of my old friends became yakuza, you know? If you want to go home safely at night, listen to me.
He threatened us with such words. Igarashi not only forced us to work, but he also took credit for contracts we had worked so hard to get. Igarashi-san! Why did you change the name of the person in charge of this rental property?
What are you talking about? I was the first one to deal with the customer.
But after that, you threw them to me, saying, "These clients aren't gonna make me any money."
Did I? Well, I'm the one who reported it to the higher-ups. Don't make a fuss about it.
I can't accept this!
So what are you gonna do? Beat me up and take back the contract?
I can't do that.
Fine, I'll fight one-on-one with you as much as you want. You think you can win? Come at me!
Igarashi raises his fist towards my colleague. I rush to get in between the two of them. Please, don't be violent!
Huh? If you don't want to get beat up, then don't come near me again!
We are reaching our limits, too. If that's what it has come down to. After that, we bought voice recorders and a small camera that we could put in our breast pockets to collect evidence. I guess the single-minded Igarashi never thought we'd challenge him. After that, he would say things like, "There's a yakuza in my group," and "If you cross me, I'll draw blood." He would force us to do his work and leave before we did. A few months later, we gathered enough evidence. This should make the higher-ups believe what we say. And right when we were about to file charges, "You know that fancy place called Manwa Sushi?" "Oh, Manwa Sushi. I have a client who likes it there, and I'd like to go there for a reception. But they don't accept first-time customers." "If it's that place, I know the owner, so I can make a reservation." "Really?" As we were having this conversation,
Then make the reservation now. I always wanted to try that place.
"What?" I turned around and saw Igarashi there. Apparently, he was listening. "I can't right away, but..." I said no, but...
This is also part of the job. Are you saying you can't work with me?
I had no choice but to contact Manwa-san. After explaining the situation, Manwa-san said,
I'll get you a private room where it won't bother other customers.
and he gladly accepted. I hope nothing bad happens. Please don't make a fuss there. I gave him a warning and visited Manwa Sushi on Friday night, but that guy Igarashi was so taken in by the delicious sushi and the atmosphere of the restaurant,
Sake! Bring more!
he started to make a fuss. Igarashi-san, I told you not to make a fuss, didn't I?
What? Are you telling me what to do?
I'm not telling you what to do, I'm asking you. This is a high-class sushi restaurant. Please, be quiet.
I'm a customer, you know? They say a customer is a god. I'm allowed to do whatever I want.
Igarashi is the only one in a good mood, laughing and chewing on his sushi. I was told it was for a reception, but that was just an excuse. And in the end, no customers showed up. I just looked down, wishing he would hurry up and finish eating. Igarashi, perhaps not amused by our attitude,
What's wrong with you guys, huh?
and started getting involved with us. We couldn't stand it anymore.
Hey, Asakawa, are you drinking?
Yes, I'm having some.
Liar! It hasn't gone down at all.
That's not true.
Poor people like you never had such good sake. You're scared, aren't you?
No.
Stop looking so bitter and have a drink. Come on.
Please stop, it's gonna spill!
Shut up! I told you not to talk back. You know I'm the former president of Doraemon.
I understand that.
I'll show you what expensive liquor tastes like to my poor juniors. Hey, drink up.
What? I can't believe it. Igarashi poured sake all over my head. Sake soaked the tables and the tatami mats and splashed on the expensive-looking hanging scrolls. Hey, Igarashi-san! Get something to wipe! My colleagues rushed to call the waitress and asked her for a hand towel.
Huh? Just let the waiters do the cleaning.
Please cut it out! Igarashi-senpai wanted to come, so I asked the chef to prepare a private room for us.
What? Are you trying to get on my bad side?
How important do you think you are, Igarashi-san? You're always pushing us to do all the work and never do anything yourself!
Huh? I'm the former head of Doraemon.
I'm tired of hearing that! So what, you used to be a former delinquent? How could you boast about an embarrassing past like that?
What did you say?
We've recorded all your outbursts and abusive behavior so far. We'll report it to our superiors by next week.
You assholes.
Igarashi started to lose his temper as he turned purple. But then a certain someone appeared in front of us.
Kazuki, are you alright?
Manwa-san, I'm really sorry for disturbing you.
No, it's okay. Hey, I'm reporting to the top. You know what's gonna happen if you undermine me like that?
Igarashi's words were interrupted by Manwa-san, who had a sharp gaze.
Are you the one that spilled the alcohol all over the place? What then, old man? This is my mentor's private dining room, and it's not an exaggeration to say that. To defile it is the same as disrespecting him. I'll make sure you pay for this.
I was overwhelmed by his pressure. Igarashi must have been intimidated as well,
Pay for this?
and turned pale.
I will charge you 1 million yen for the cleaning. Million? No way. Someone like you wouldn't know value, but these tatami mats are very special and cost more than 100,000 yen per tatami. The hanging scroll was painted by a famous teacher. It's worth more than 1 million yen.
But Igarashi said, "Well, why would I pay that?" He retorted.
My senior's a yakuza. I'll ask him to close this place down if you keep talking nonsense. Oh, the yakuza, you say? It's against the law to call yourself a yakuza and threaten people. I'll report you to the police. Landlady, take care of it. Huh? Wait, what?
I guess they called the police station nearby. The policeman appeared immediately. As expected, Igarashi was also scared by this turn of events.
They didn't do anything! Don't touch me!
He went on a rampage and was taken away for assault after punching a police officer. Manwa-san, I'm so sorry for the trouble I've caused you.
No, it's okay. We didn't have many customers today. They're all regulars, so it's fine.
I bowed my head down to all the customers who were there, everyone being warm people. Must have been a hard time with a senior like that. Good luck! And encouraged me. At the end of the week, we reported Igarashi's behavior to our boss with the evidence we had prepared. I also told him that Igarashi had been taken away by the police after he got into trouble at a sushi restaurant. I was hoping this would get him demoted, but apparently Igarashi was causing some problems even before we joined the company. The top management decided that it was impossible to retain Igarashi and fired him.
Damn it! Why me? What do you mean I'm fired?
It was funny how the supervisor was disgusted, saying, "There's no way we can keep an idiot who openly says he has ties with an illegal organization. If you boast too much about being a delinquent, only a path of self-destruction is awaiting. I'll take Igarashi as my role model and live a serious life." I visited Manwa Sushi again later and apologized, and Manwa-san told me that he had charged Igarashi a reasonable amount for the cleanup. Igarashi said he had no savings and asked for forgiveness. But when Manwa-san told him he would sue if he didn't pay up, he borrowed money from somewhere and paid it off.
I've made peace with it. And he's banned from the restaurant, so it's all good now. Come eat here again.
Yes, of course! Thank you for everything! Rumor has it that Igarashi has had a hard time finding new employment since then, and is having trouble paying back the money he borrowed. Well, I doubt any company would hire a guy who used to say he was a yakuza. Suck on that! Workplace is peaceful now that Igarashi is gone. Lately, I'm getting used to my job, and the number of days I could go home on time has increased. I've realized now that it's a very good company if I'm able to concentrate on my work. From now on, I will work harder than ever with my colleagues.
I'm Sayo Okawa. I was the quiet type. This is Hiromi, my little sister. She was the complete opposite of me. Growing up, my parents always compared me to her.
Look, it's a flower.
It's so pretty.
You're so good at drawing, unlike Sayo.
Yeah, Sayo sucks at drawing. They always praised her and put me down. By the time she was in elementary school, she started looking down on me.
Look at what Mom bought me. It's a new dress.
Good for you.
Did you not get one? No? I wonder why that is.
No idea.
I know. It's 'cause I'm pretty. This one looked good on you anyways.
She was out of control, but my parents didn't say anything to her. They always took her side. They bought her everything she wanted, but me, they didn't spend a dime on me.
If only you were pretty. Oh well, too bad. I feel so bad for you.
She was such a jerk to me. And I stopped talking to my parents. They treated me like I was invisible. Sometimes they talked to me, but only when they needed something. I need you to watch the store for me in the morning. And after school. Our family owned a little cafe. They always made me work. Probably because they didn't have to pay me. But I want to join the band club.
We raised you all these years.
Yeah, it's the least you can do. If not, get out. What? I had no choice. I was either in school or helping out the family cafe.
Your coffee always tastes so good.
Thanks.
You're all grown up, Sayo. Come here, let me get a good look at you.
Stop it, you're embarrassing me. Some of the customers harassed me. I never showed it, but I hated that. My parents started spending more time with Hiromi. She started going to cram school so she could get into a really good high school. I barely had time to study though. This isn't fair. When I was in 11th grade, I finally snapped. Mom, Dad, I want to study psychology at Waido University. So please, I need time to study. But they just said to me, University? Who's gonna pay for that? Once you're out of high school, you're gonna work here.
Yeah, and you're ugly. What's the point of going to college?
There was just no talking to them. So I told them I'd take out a student loan. Fine, but you can't live here anymore.
Yeah, and pay us $100,000 before you go, for all the money we spent on you.
Screw this. I was done talking to them. I had no choice but to give up on college. After graduating high school, I started working at the cafe. I'm gonna save up and get my own place. I'm not gonna give up. About a year later, Hiromi got into her first choice school.
I joined the tennis club. The boys there are so handsome.
Good for you,
Why didn't you go to college? Oh, right.
she said with a mean smile on her face. I had nothing to say to her. I worked all day at the cafe. Somehow I was able to convince my parents to pay me. It was minimum wage, but it was better than nothing. If I wanted my own place, I had to save up.
I don't care how long it takes. Someday I'm gonna leave this place.
But then something unexpected happened when Hiromi was a sophomore in college.
Oh no! I'm in big trouble!
Hiromi came home one day. She was freaking out. A few minutes later, this really scary-looking guy came to our house.
Where's the girl? The one that ran over our boss. Bring her to me right now.
Hiromi was riding her bike while using her phone, and she ran over an old man. His assistant remembered the color of her bike, so he was able to track her down. I turned around to call my parents, but then... She did it! It was her! What? Mom pushed me. It was her! You can do anything you want with her!
So it was you, huh?
No, Mom gagged me with her hand. She told me she had to talk to me in private. Just take the fall for her!
Yeah, Hiromi has her whole life ahead of her.
You're serious? What about my future?
Just figure it out, okay? You're a woman. I'm sure you'll find some way to make it up to him.
Yeah, do this for your sister. No! Hiromi was glaring at me. Hiromi, you did this! You gotta...
Shut up! Do as they say! Go! Now! You're my big sister! It's your job to protect me!
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How could they say this to me? They were monsters. I didn't even care anymore. I went up to the guy and said, I'll take responsibility for this.
All right, come with me then.
And so my family threw me under the bus, just like that. I didn't even feel anything anymore. I felt dizzy. I just kept walking in silence. A few minutes later, the guy stopped and asked me,
Just making sure. You ran him over? It was you, right?
really, but that's what my family wants to believe, so.
I had a feeling. It was the other girl, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about what she did. I'll pay for everything.
You're okay with this?
My parents just abandoned me. I don't really care anymore. I got nowhere to go now. Just do whatever you want with me.
Alright then. You can come work for us then.
Huh? About 20 minutes later, we arrived at this small restaurant. Turns out Hiromi ran over the owner of this restaurant. His name was Mr. Suzuki.
She hit me, but it was nothing serious. I just fell, that's all. I'm okay, really. Still, she hit you. You gotta make this right. Shinpei, sometimes you just gotta let things go. I told you this.
His name was Shinpei Miura. He was an employee at the restaurant. So I started working at the restaurant. They gave me a room upstairs. The owner didn't seem to care about the accident, but Shinpei was right. I gotta make this right. I gotta repay him for what my sister did to him. Welcome. Here you go.
Ah, thanks. You knew?
Yep, just started last week. Today's special is red snapper.
Sounds good. I'll take that and a bottle of sake, please.
Coming right up. Unlike my family's cafe, the customers here were really polite. The owner and Shinpei seemed to love this job. I really enjoyed working with them.
Good work today, guys. Ever since you came here, sales have been through the roof. She's really good with the customers.
I think it's the food. It's delicious.
Thanks. You guys want something to eat? Yes!
Yay! Shinpei and I started talking more often. Turns out he used to be a yakuza.
My parents were terrible people, just like yours. I ran away from home when I was in high school, and before I knew it, I was in the yakuza.
Yakuza? He started coming to this place when he was a yakuza. He really loved it here. He got very close to the owner and his wife. And when the owner told him he should quit the yakuza, he decided to leave it all behind.
He said I was still young, that it wasn't too late to start over. I thought about it for a while. Then his wife, she passed away.
There was a picture of an old woman on the counter. It was the owner's wife.
He thought about closing shop, but I wanted to help. Then the yakuza family I worked for got dissolved, so I left and started working here.
I see.
But I've never done this before, you know? It took me a while to get used to it. Then, I ran into you.
Huh?
That cafe. I actually went in there once. You were always smiling at the customers, no matter how annoying they were. You probably don't remember it, but...
He said that I inspired him.
And now, we're working together. I wasn't expecting that.
He said with a big smile on his face. It was kind of cute. My family's cafe and the restaurant. The job was the same. I was the waiter. But here, I genuinely wanted to help the restaurant out. I really enjoyed working here. And it was all thanks to the owner and Shinpei. I was really grateful for both of them. Then...
Sales are going through the roof. Thanks for handing out those flyers. It's all thanks to you.
Oh, it's nothing. Glad I could be of help. This place was starting to grow on me. But then, about 8 months later...
Sayo! There you are!
Mom? Dad?
Come home! Come work for us again!
Their cafe was going under. They didn't have enough people to keep that place going. Almost every employee quit after a few weeks. Can't say that I blame them, though. Work conditions there are terrible.
This big coffee shop opened up nearby. We need your help. Come back.
Yeah, the regulars stopped coming after you left.
We raised you. It's the least you could do. Come on.
Stop! You guys kicked me out, remember? I'm not going anywhere.
Then Shinpei showed up.
Seriously? You want her back now, after what you did to her? I don't think so.
Shut up! She already paid off her debt, right?
Yeah, she's ours. Give her back. Fine.
Huh?
But if you want her back, bring your daughter to me. She's the one that ran over my boss in the first place.
Hiromi! No way!
Yeah, she's our precious daughter. You can't have her. Then we don't have a deal. Get lost and never come back. Sayo is staying with us. She's with us now.
He pulled me in with his arms. I felt all fuzzy inside. I started to blush.
You two are horrible parents. You don't deserve to have children. Sayo, tell them.
I thought about what to say to them.
I never want to see you again! I'm cutting all ties with you! Get lost!
I yelled out pretty loud. All the neighbors came outside to see what was going on. They knew something was up. They didn't know the whole story, but they could tell that I was in trouble. They started chanting, "Get lost!" My parents ran off like cowards. A few months later, their cafe went out of business. The service was terrible anyways. It was bound to happen. As for Hiromi, she got into a big fight with one of the girls at school over some boy, and things weren't looking good for her. She got a boyfriend once, but he dumped her in less than a month. After that, she became a shut-in. A few days later, Mom called me at the restaurant.
Hiromi is going crazy. She's breaking everything in the house. Help me.
She left me a voice message. Needless to say, I ignored her and blocked her number. As for me, I had everything I could ever ask for. Oh, and that day when my parents came here, he asked me out that night. We started dating, and today he asked me to move in with him. It's never too late to start over.
Yep.
I love you. Thanks for coming into my life, Shinpei. I decided to put the past behind me. I had my whole life ahead of me. It's time to move on. Shinpei, Mr. Suzuki, thanks for everything. I love you both.
I'm Yuki Suzumura. When I was in high school, my mom died in a car accident. I was in my rebellious phase at the time. The morning of the day she died, we got into a fight. It was too late for regrets, but I still wasn't over it. It was just me and my dad now, but... Dad, you're drinking too much. Take it easy.
Shut up. Leave me alone.
And another thing, can you get a job already? We're running out of our savings.
Work? For what? You're a grown-up now, and Mom isn't here anymore. I got no reason to work.
Dad was devastated when Mom died. He quit his job and started gambling our savings away. I gotta step it up. I got a full scholarship and got a part-time job. Luckily, I got into my first choice school. I worked really hard in school. I gotta get a good job and make Mom proud. But then, what the? When I got home one day, my dad was gone. He left a note on the table. It said, "I'm done for. I'm sorry. Go to this address, they'll tell you everything." I called him right away, but no answer. What's going on here? So, I went to the address he wrote down.
You came.
What is this place? Who are you people?
Take a guess. We're the yakuza, kid.
No. I mean, why am I here exactly?
Your dad sold you. From now on, you're our property. Welcome to the Ichinose family, kid.
What?
I guess he didn't tell you. Long story short, your dad owed us a lot of money. I knew him since we were kids, so I was nice to him, but he ran off, so.
What? But...
He said you pay off his debt for him. You're an adult now, right? You gotta make this right.
That piece of shit. The Ichinose family. I've heard of them before. I heard they were one of the nice ones, but still, they were the yakuza. I had no idea my dad was in debt.
So pay up.
What? I don't have money. I'm still a student.
Thought you'd say that.
Are they gonna kill me?
You'll just have to work it off then.
Huh?
For starters, marry my daughter. Then I'll forget about your dad's debt.
Marry your daughter?
No worries. She's the same age as you. She's pretty too.
Hold on. Wait,
If you can't do that, you'll have to work for us. Or swim with the fishes.
Huh? Oh, I don't want that.
Just talk to my daughter, okay?
What? He left before I could say anything. I didn't have much of a choice. A few days later, I went to go see his daughter.
Hello, I'm Misuzu Ichinose.
Hi? I'm Yuki Suzumura.
Dad told me about you. Let's get started.
Start what? What the? What are you doing?
Huh? Dad didn't tell you? He wants an heir to take over his business. Come on.
Hold on. I didn't sign up for this.
So he didn't tell you. I knew it.
Huh? She took off her shirt. She had this big scar on her back.
Pretty gross, right? I know.
It looked like an old scar.
You're grossed out. I get it. If I were you, I'd just work off the debt. It's much better than marrying me.
Look, can you put your shirt back on? You'll catch a cold. Come on.
Huh? You're not grossed out by me?
What's going on here? None of this makes sense. None of this made sense to me. I told her to put her shirt back on. Then I went home. A few days later, I went to go see the boss again. I told him that I still needed some time to make a decision, but... Fine then. Until you make your decision, you work for us. You got no choice here. Get to work. Okay. Go clean the house. And the office. If you're not done by the time I get there, you're done. Okay. So, I started working as an errand boy for the Ichinose family. How did I get myself into this? I had no idea. I was terrified, but there wasn't much I could do. A few weeks went by. I was learning more about the Ichinose family. The boss had an interesting relationship with his daughter. They barely talked. They were like complete strangers. And what was up with that scar on her back? Did she have a mother? I was full of questions I had no answers to. Excuse me, can I clean your room, ma'am?
Make it quick.
They made me clean her room too. She barely had any stuff. I wasn't expecting that. I better clean the closet too.
Hey, stop!
Huh? What the? The closet was full of stuffed animals and pictures. I think it was a picture of her mother. She was blushing. She let out a sigh. Sorry about that, ma'am.
It's fine. Just don't tell Dad.
Okay.
And stop calling me ma'am. We're the same age, right?
Yeah, but...
It's fine.
Okay. She was starting to let me in. I decided to ask her about the picture. Is this your mom?
Yeah, but she's dead now. She bought me these when I was a kid.
I see, but why hide them?
I don't know. I'm just embarrassed that I'm still not over her. Dad seems fine, but I don't know.
Your dad?
Yeah, all he cares about is work. He doesn't care about me at all.
I don't think that's true.
Then why try to set me up with some stranger? He just wants an heir. That's all.
I didn't know what to say to her.
I said too much. Just forget everything I told you.
But after that, she started talking to me more often. We were the same age, so we got along pretty well. And we both lost our mother when we were kids and had dad issues. She was a good listener too. She even cried for me when I told her about my mom. But things between her and her dad remained the same. Sometimes we all ate together, but they didn't say anything to each other. I didn't get it though. Why was he acting this way? Is he really over his wife? Then, one day, I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. I noticed the boss's room was still lit. But then, when I got closer to the door, I heard him moaning in pain. Sir, you okay? I ran into the room. He was in the corner of the room. He was crying. There was an altar there. What are you doing in here? I'm sorry, sir. I thought you were hurt or something. I see. Is that your wife? Isuzu told you? Yeah. Can you drink? Sure. Have a drink with me then. Of course. The boss started telling me about his past. Misuzu lost her mother when she was in high school. She was out shopping with her when this truck ran into them. That's how she got that scar on her back. After the accident, Misuzu and her father drifted apart. He was always busy with work and his wife did everything around the house, so he had no idea how to deal with her. He told me they haven't spoken in years. I should have been there for her. If I had, maybe none of this would have happened. This is all my fault. I see. But why hide the altar? You saw her room, right? She wants to forget about the accident. She's 20 years old already. She needs to move on. He felt responsible for what happened to his wife. He wanted to help his daughter move on with her life. That's why he was trying to find a nice man for her to marry. It was the only way he could think of. The point being, he really cared about her. I wanted them to make up. I wouldn't want her to go through the same thing I did with my mom. They should tell each other how they feel, but that was easier said than done. Then, a few weeks later, I got a call. What? The boss? He's been in an accident? It was from the hospital. I headed over there right away. Misuzu was out of state, so I went there alone. When I got there, his men told me what happened. I grabbed my phone and called Misuzu.
What? Dad's been in an accident? Oh no!
Listen, he's okay. Take a deep breath. A few hours later, Misuzu arrived at the hospital.
Dad! Why? Why didn't anyone call me?
He didn't want to worry about you.
What? But why? You don't even care about me.
Misuzu, it's not like that. He never got over your mom.
Liar! He doesn't even have a picture of her! He doesn't care!
He does. He hides them in his closet, just like you.
Huh?
I decided to tell her everything. I told her that her dad cried in front of the altar every night, and that he was only trying to help her move on with her life. He cared deeply about her. She just didn't know it. He just didn't know how to talk to you, that's all. But he cares about you.
I had no idea. I shouldn't have shut him out like that. Daddy, please don't die.
Misuzu burst out crying. Then, tears came out of the boss's eyes.
Dad, you're crying?
I'm sure he'll watch you from over heaven. I'm not dead yet, idiot. Huh? What? You're up?
Dad, you're okay?
I just hit my head. I was trying to protect this kid from getting run over. I'm fine though, they just drugged me. What did you tell her, Yuki? What? Nothing. I knew his injuries weren't that serious. It was just a few scratches, nothing life-threatening. But I might have exaggerated a bit when I called Misuzu, hoping that she'd open up to him. Well, I guess my plan worked. You do realize I'm the boss of a yakuza family, right?
You scared me.
I'm so sorry, but it got you talking, right?
Yeah, but...
That's not the point! My plan worked perfectly. They made up after that. A few days later, the boss came back to the office. We were all like one big family now. Then, something happened. What? You found my dad? Yeah, what do you want to do with him? Want us to chop him up and sell his organs? What? No, just make him pay you back. All right then, we'll put him to work. Sounds good to me. All right then. Well, I guess that's that then. Wait, so I'm out of debt then?
So I guess you'll be leaving me now. Sorry about everything.
Hold on, I don't want to leave.
Huh?
Misuzu, I like you. I love you. Will you marry me? Not sure how she felt about me, but I had to tell her how I felt.
Yuki, I love you too.
Misuzu, congratulations. Yuki, take good care of her. Yes, sir! After college, I got married to Misuzu. I thought the boss would ask me to take over his business, but he told me to go live my life. So, we were all one big family now. It was a rough couple of years, but glad everything worked out. My name is Yuki Goto. I live with my grandmother. My parents went around from when I was young, so my grandmother was the only family member that I knew of. Grandma, these carrots are so sweet.
Yeah, you grew them, so they've got to be good, huh?
My father was a drunk piece of crap who disappeared with his mistress when I was still a baby. My mother was around till I was 2, but she was always sick and bedridden, so I don't have many memories with her. I remember her reading books to me sometimes. My grandfather was gone before I was born, and so after my mother passed, it was just my grandmother and I. We lived off of the little social security that my grandma received, and some of the insurance money from my mother. We had a garden to save some money, and did what we could to grow our own food. The neighbors would often share their old clothing and food. We were able to get by.
Hey guys!
Hey, Aunt Sayori! This is my grandmother's niece, Sayori. She lived in the neighborhood, and she often helped in any way she could.
I got rice from my husband's relatives. You guys have some. Wow, thank you.
Yeah! Thank you, Auntie! The kid hiding behind Sayori was Shun. He was Sayori's son. He's 4 years old, but I've never seen him talking. Ever. Hey, Shun-kun! Let's hang out!
Sorry, he's always so shy.
It's okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. He was always emotionless and staring. Apparently, he couldn't hear out of one ear. Afterwards, Shun came with Sayori a few times, but he never said anything to us. I started middle school. I'm gonna graduate and start working to earn money for us! We had used up all of my mother's insurance money, and so we were struggling to survive. My grandmother said,
You should at least go to high school.
but I said, I want to earn money and let you live a more comfortable life. I said I needed to work. But after I started my last year of middle school and teachers started talking about which high school to go to, you should go to high school at the very least. I was advised to go to high school. I heard that all of my classmates were also going to be going to high school, so I started to wonder, I guess I need to go to high school, huh? I was worried. Eventually, some men in suits showed up to our door. They wanted us to sell the land. Apparently, there was going to be a new station built in the area, and they wanted to build a new mansion here. The amount that they were willing to pay was insane, and we were both shocked. She said that if she had the money, she could send me off to college as well. So she decided to sell the house and the land. The house was already old and needed a lot of repairs, so it wasn't that difficult for her to let go of it. Auntie Sayori, thank you for everything.
Thank you, dear. Come to our new house, okay? Of course, you two take care.
See you later, Shun-kun. We moved to a room in the next town over. After the move, I started high school. I showed her in my uniform, and she was so proud to see me in my uniform. Afterwards, I studied hard and used scholarships to go to college as well. My coming-of-age ceremony came, and
I'm so glad you grew up great. I have no regrets.
what are you talking about, Grandma? You've got to stay healthy so I can let you enjoy your life now.
I've already enjoyed my life plenty with you.
A little while later, I was worried about my grandma because she didn't come to the living room, but she was already cold. She had left on her journey to heaven. I'm now all alone in this world. I was in so much shock that I was just crying and staying inside for a while. Afterwards, I found my grandmother's diary. It read that she was proud of the adult that I had grown into and that she had no regrets at all. I know she's watching over me. I gotta live a life that she can continue to be proud of. I was able to get over it slowly. I lived in the room without my grandma for a while and went to college. About a year after my grandmother passed, I got a call on the landline that I had put in for my grandmother. It was a woman who claimed to be a relative.
Sayori and Sayori's husbands have passed, so please, come by.
I headed straight to the funeral. Apparently they had passed due to a house fire. The house was completely lost in the fire, and Shun-kun, who was away on a school trip, was the only survivor. He was just standing alone in uniform at the funeral. You must have been through a lot, huh? I talked to him, but he didn't respond. According to relatives, he hadn't spoken to anyone after he got here.
He's already in middle school, right? Why can't he say hello?
I heard he can't hear, so he probably can't talk either.
But he can hear out of one ear, right?
I don't know what he's thinking. Ugh, how creepy.
He's always been that way. How gross and weird.
After the funeral, no one spoke to him. One by one, they left, almost as if to run away from him. He's being treated as a nuisance, huh? I didn't want to just let this go, so I decided to try to talk to him again. Shun-kun, do you remember me? I used to live in your neighborhood. I'm Yuki. Do you want to come live with me? I used to always be looked after by Aunt Sayori, your mother. I figured if you had nowhere to go, I would try to repay that by taking you in. I want to do what I can to help you out. He just stared at me for a while before nodding.
My house, it burned up. Would it be alright if I stayed with you for a while?
Of course, that would be fine. Come on over, let's go. I took him to my house. I don't know how to live with him. I just started summer break so I can worry about school after it starts, but... Sorry I don't have any games or anything.
Can I use your internet?
Oh, use this. It's an old laptop I used to use.
Thank you.
I gave him the laptop and he bowed lightly. He only ever spoke up when saying thank you and goodbye. While he was on the PC, he was typing away, so I guessed he was chatting or typing up an essay. I don't know what to do. How do I communicate with him? I guess I can cook some meaty foods that I'm sure he'd like to talk about things. I went to buy groceries. I bought a little better meat than usual and some veggies, but... Huh? Shunkun? It was the first time he wasn't in the house at this time. I thought it was weird and looked around the dark room, but when I opened my room, no way. He got me. The clothes drawer was open and the envelope inside was gone. There was about $100 left for random expenses in it. Where did he go? Is he okay? I thought maybe I could talk to the police, but he's already in middle school, so he just left on his own will. I'm sure if I make a scene now, it would be more difficult for him to come home. I looked around the neighborhood. I don't know where else to look. I'll just wait till the evening. If he doesn't show up by nighttime, I'm gonna call the police. I was praying that he would come home. It's already 9 p.m. He's not doing something stupid, is he? Trying to chase his parents to... I started imagining the worst case scenario. Right at that moment, the door opened and Shunkun was at the entrance. Welcome back. Oh my gosh, you scared me to death. What happened to your clothes? And your hands? He was covered in dirt and grime. Did you fall? Or did someone do this to you?
No, sir. I'm sorry for leaving without saying anything. I went to get this.
What is that? A can of snacks or something?
It's something that my father and mother buried in our yard. They were going to open it with me when I was going to get married.
According to his story, while I was out shopping, he got a call from some relatives saying that they were going to demolish the house that was burned by next month. He figured that if they did that, he would never get a chance to dig up the box, so he hurried to go find it.
I'm sorry for taking your money from you. I use it for transportation fees. Here's a change. I promise to pay you back eventually.
You idiot! I don't care about the money! I'm so glad you're alright. You have no idea how scared I was.
You're gonna get dirty.
I'm just glad you're fine. Seriously, don't ever do that again. You understand me? Promise me.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
I felt a little bad about yelling at him and regretted it, but apparently I didn't need to worry about that because he seemed to have opened up to me. He slowly started talking to me. He was just a little more shy than your average guy, and once he opened up to you, he was just a regular middle school age boy. What are you doing on the computer all the time? Friends on the internet or something?
Yeah, I have some creative friends that I chat with.
I see. What do you like to create?
I like writing stories, and my friends make the stories that I write into mangas and animes.
Wow, that's impressive. Can you show me sometime?
I'm a little shy about that.
Okay, sure. I'll wait till you're ready. Let me know because I'm always open to checking it out.
I might never be ready to show you.
I guess I'll just have to wait, huh? He slowly started doing chores around the house, and eventually, we were roommates. A month later, he said that he wanted to continue living with me, so I took care of the paperwork to transfer schools and became his guardian. Afterwards, he graduated middle school and started public school. After he graduated high school, he found a local company to work at. He had grown up but was still just as cool and expressionless. But one day...
Mr. Yuki, listen!
He was clearly excited and came into my room.
One of my stories took the top spot at a story site.
Whoa, that's crazy! Congratulations! He had continued to write after he started working. If he had time, he continued to write using my old laptop. His efforts had finally paid off. His work started spreading over social media, and his past work also started gaining attention. Dang, you're a rock star!
But it's just amateur, and it's not like I can buy food with this work.
Then how about you go for the pros, huh? Maybe try applying for some entry-level contests for new writers. He was saying that he couldn't, but if you don't take that extra step, you're never going to be able to get out of your shell. I pushed him forward a little and he started applying for various contests. Of course, life is not that simple. He was pretty upset about not winning often, but I would do my best to cheer him up and keep him going. I also said my opinion if he asked for it. Your work is becoming more and more interesting. I can tell, and I'm just a regular guy. I'm sure someone from a publication will notice you.
Thank you, Mr. Yuki. I'll try a little more.
A few years later, after he kept working at it...
Really? Yes! I won! I can debut now! I can finally pay you back.
He finally achieved his dreams. What are you talking about paying me back?
The only reason I am where I am is because you took me in and pushed me to do better. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do this.
I knew that you could do it, so I cheered for you is all. You don't need to pay me back.
But...
Okay, how about you make your next character Yuki, huh? I'll take that.
Of course, consider it done.
I'll be waiting for your next piece, sir.
Oh, come on, you're gonna embarrass me.
By the way, a few months later, some random people showed up at my door. Hey, you're gonna make money, right? Can you let us some money?
You've got connections now, right? Give me a sign from one of my favorite authors.
It was all those relatives that had left him behind at the funeral 7 years ago. The second they found out Shun had made his debut, they came to my house to try to kiss his ass. They never called once. Terrible. I tried to chase them away when Shun pulled ahead of me.
You guys told me that I was creepy and weird at my own parents' funeral. That was you, right? No, You're gonna come to me and ask for money just because I'm successful?
No, that's not.
I'm only ever gonna repay Yuki-san, so don't ever come again!
I didn't realize that he was able to make such a terrifying expression. The group understood what they had just been told and left without saying a word. Shame on them. Afterwards, he had started making more stable money, so he left the house. We still go out every few days and get along great. 3 years later, when Shun got married, I was sitting in the family seats. Next to me was the can that he had dug up that day and his parents' photos.
Thank you for always supporting me, Yuki-san. I think my father and mother are thanking you from the heavens as well. I'm here because of you. Thank you, and let's make sure to stay family forever.
Shun! After my grandma died, I was alone in the world, but I managed to find great family. You never really know what's going to happen in life. I'm going to be his brother and his father to make sure that he stays happy and guide him as best as I can. Find your happiness, Shun. My name is Makoto Kobayashi. I'd always loved playing games since I was young, and I always had a controller in my hand when I was in my room. I really loved racing games, so I was pretty knowledgeable in cars as a result. However, I was not good at being social at all. After starting high school, I didn't make many friends, and during lunch, I often ate alone. I was still having fun with my games on my phone, but then... Makoto? Huh? Kazuki? The boy who was talking to me was a delinquent boy and his friends. I was familiar with one of them, Kazuki Yoshida. I'd known him since he was in elementary school. He's 2 years older than me, and he used to often come over when he was young. Eventually, we stopped hanging out together after we drifted apart. By the time he was in middle school, we had barely talked at all. It's been so long! You're in my high school, huh? Hey, you go here too, huh? Yeah. Oh, that's Kazuki-san to you. We're not equals anymore, you understand? Yeah. Oh, I'll introduce you. This is Takei and Sasaki. They're my homies. Hello. Hey. Nice to meet you. You like games still, huh? You play games at home? Yeah? I see. I'll go later then. Huh? Let's play games, huh? Meet at the front gate after class. Wait! If you go home without me, I'm gonna beat you up. Later, Otaku-kun. How rude. But he was older than me. After class, I was waiting at the front gates because I had no choice. Oh, you actually waited. Great job, kid. Hey, I don't think you can come over. Huh? What? No. Okay, cool. Hold my bag. Here, you guys let him hold it too. He's younger than us. I'm good. I can hold on my own. Me too. Whatever, let's go. The three of them followed me into my house. They came into my house.
Huh? Kazuki-kun?
Oh, it's been a while. I stumbled into Makoto at school. Would it be alright if I came in for a bit?
Of course. I'm so happy to hear that he has friends. I was worried if he could make friends in high school. So you guys look after him, huh?
Of course. Makoto, where's your room? Oh, sure.
Make yourselves at home.
Whoa, it's seriously just games here. Oh, I wanted to try this game. We didn't have anywhere to hang out, so this is great. Huh? What do you mean? We're gonna hang out here from today. That's cool, right? We can hang out like before. This is how those three started coming over to my house. They just played games and used me as a little handyman to go buy things for them. Of course, I thought about talking to my parents, but he always acted like such a great kid around my mom. And mom is happy that I have friends. I couldn't say or do anything about it. But afterwards, his behavior kept escalating. Kazuki-san, where's the game that I put here? Oh, that? I sold it because I didn't have money. Huh? It sold pretty well, thanks. No. That was a super premium game that I don't think I can ever get again. Who cares, man? Come on. We're friends, we gotta help each other out. What? Alright, time to go eat. I got some money now. Okay, Sasaki, let's go. Yep. Hey! I tried to argue about it, but he was a delinquent, and there were 3 of them. They're going to graduate soon. I thought it was just a little longer and held in there. A few months later, they all graduated. Kazuki is actually going to find a job. I'm going to be a CEO in my 20s, that's what he would say. I mean, if I became the CEO, I'll hire you, even if you're an otaku. You just enjoy your life as a shut-in otaku. Sure. After that day, I was able to enjoy my peace once again. I was able to enjoy what I wanted again without worrying about anything. I just did what I wanted to do after graduating high school and gained experience. 8 years later, I was 26 years old. I still live with my parents. Of course, I still loved games. No one would get in my way, and it was the best feeling ever. Then one day, my doorbell rang. My family wasn't home, so I answered the door. Yo, it's been so long! Kazuki-san? I couldn't believe it. It was Kazuki-san. I hadn't seen him since graduation. He seemed older, but somehow the same. All right, coming in. Hey, your room was... Whoa. You're seriously a shut-in. That's not... What are you doing here? You know. Apparently, Kazuki-san quit his job a few months after graduation. He has been job hopping since. In other words, he has ran out of places to go, so he came home. I've gathered a lot of experience. Life is experience and networking, neither which you have. If you say so. He stayed in my room for a while, bragging and one-upping me. He stayed for about an hour before deciding to leave. I showed him to the door. Wait, what the hell is this car? Whose is this? It's mine. Don't make me laugh, idiot. Maybe you must have lost track of reality from the games you've been playing, huh? I cannot believe that you would buy such an expensive car just look all fancy. You better not come asking me for money after you take out all those loans. I'll be back later. Huh? He came back just like he had announced. He was still super kind and formal around my parents. At first, I was putting up with him because he was an old friend, but I need to figure something out. Then one day, I finished a hard meeting out of my house and came back exhausted when my mom came up to me with a serious look on her face.
Kazuki-kun just went to your room. He said he forgot something.
Seriously? I was worried and ran to my room. There's no way he forgot anything. I'm sure he was taking something out again without asking. I was looking around the room and realized that something was missing. Something way more expensive than any game. My car keys. I was tired, so I didn't notice my car was missing from my parking lot. I called Kazuki immediately. He answered and said, I'm gonna borrow it for a bit. I'll give it back before the date changes. You gotta be kidding me. I wanted to tell him to bring it back, but at that moment, wait a second. I calmed down and thought of something. I was furious, but waited for him to return my car. A few hours later, he came back. Sorry, I wrecked it. You're kidding! The car was all busted. I was shocked. I hit it right around the corner. Honestly, this car is so difficult to drive. You didn't hit anyone, did you? Did you call the cops? No, it was a house. It was a concrete wall. Why do I need to call the cops? What? I don't know, but whatever. See ya. Hey, why are you trying to leave? What? This is your car. It's your responsibility. No. The driver has the responsibility, and you need to call the cops the second you get in a car accident. How do you not know this? What? Who the hell do you think you're talking to? I don't give a rat's ass about responsibility. You know what's gonna happen if you go against me? This is going nowhere. I got it. This is great. I'm gonna call Takei and Sasaki to have them come over and teach you a lesson. Hang on. It's too late for you now. No, I'm contacting them now. What? If anything, thank you for crashing my car. You've made things easier for me. Hey, what are you talking about? I ignored him and called them. A little while later, oh, Sasaki-san, over here. Sasaki, this stupid otaku is messing with me, so kick his ass. What? Sasaki? Yo, been a minute. So, where was the accident? What the hell is going on? Sorry for calling you up out of the blue. It's fine. Part of the job. Hey, listen to me! Takei-san, over here. There you are, Takei. These guys are being so weird. What? Then Takei-san showed up. Sorry I was late, but I was nearby, so it worked out. Are you really Takei? Hey, Kazuki, long time. What is that suit? What do you mean? He's a lawyer. A lawyer? I mean, I just graduated, though. I'm a cop, if you couldn't tell by the uniform. And you became a CEO, right? This guy is a CEO? Yeah, I started a company a few years ago and became a business owner. After graduating high school, I worked part-time and learned programming. I created many games and eventually, I was able to sell many copies as an indie game developer. I announced a smartphone game and it went viral on social media. I started making quite a bit of money. I was brought on board for a few other game development teams and eventually started my own company. I needed to figure out a way to fight taxes and treat myself, so I bought that car. By the way, I talked to Sasaki-san and Takei-san after we graduated. That was because they both came to apologize to me. They said that they were sorry for not being able to go against Kazuki this whole time, and they were really sorry. It wasn't like they were doing anything to me, so I kind of figured they were just being forced. I just forgave them. Afterwards, Sasaki-san became a cop and works in traffic. Takei-san was accepted into law school and was able to pass his bar exam. He's now working at a legal office to gain real-life experience. You're a cop. A lawyer. Okay, so tell me what happened. I decided to speak up for a speechless Kazuki about the accident and how he stole my keys without my permission. So then he said he was gonna call you too and beat me up or something. You're still saying shit like that? But it's his car! I'm not responsible! You know, it's all the driver's responsibility if you have an accident. They told you that when you got your license, right? Huh? Also, there's nothing criminal with a traffic accident against an object, but the fact that you left the scene may incriminate you. And you literally stole his vehicle. That's just grand theft at its finest. You should understand that, right? What? He was just lectured the whole time and realized the gravity of the situation. I was already planning on calling the police after he stole my car. I felt bad for the place he hit, but he also was involved in an accident, so it really helped me make my case. Come on, we're friends, right? And you guys are my homies, come on! Dude, we're grown-ass men now. This is a crime. It doesn't matter how we were back in the day. And I've never been your homie. But this is gonna cost a lot of money. You're totally within your legal rights to sue him for the repair bills. But please don't! I don't have no money! I'll be your homie for whatever, so please! Look, we're not kids anymore. Let's face reality, huh? Oh, but you can buy me a new car if you want. I wanted a new one anyway. Also, can I have my game back? Why don't we take it back down to the station, huh? If you want a lawyer for your case, please don't call our office. What the hell? The paperwork went smoothly thanks to those two. I was in an insurance covering myself and my family. Of course, he had no insurance. Since he was the driver, he was the responsible one, but apparently he was able to settle out of court. But the cost of the repairs and settlement were heavy on someone with no job. He was immediately struggling to survive. Additionally, he had to pay for my car repairs and he couldn't do anything anymore. On top of that, everyone in the area knew about him from high school. Word of the accident spread immediately. He stayed inside his house and is now a shut-in. My company is doing great. I really felt this time around that it was important to just do what you love and focus on that. Everything else is going to follow.